information session. I would like to thank you for the prospective SSARC students who are here who are interested in applying to the SSARC internship. I know that I really value this internship and I'd love to share more information to you about it today. So first, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Julia Lowe. I'm one of the SSARC peer consultants here. I am a fourth-year student at UCI, and I'm a social policy and public service and psychology major. And for my position here at SSARC, I am in the graduate school and research team, and we're going to go over some of those things today as well. So for today's agenda, we are going to go over the eligibility for the internship, some of the responsibilities, the teams that are going to be involved in this internship, the application process, and the Q&A. So you may ask, what is SSARC? Well, the SSARC is the Social Sciences Academic Resource Center, and it was created in 1992 to assist undergraduate students of the School of Social Sciences to obtain a competitive edge for their post-baccalaureate goals. Grounded in giving students opportunities, defining work ethic, and teaching professionalism, our center has evolved in a one-stop location to address an entire range of student achievement and academic success, including graduate school admissions, career preparation, internship placement, scholarly promotion, and community. So as far as the eligibility requirements, for you to be eligible for the internship, you have to be a current student at UCI and majoring in the School of Social Sciences. We also prefer to give students holding of 3.0 GPA or higher, and students will have to enroll in a Social Sciences 194 for 4 units, pass or no pass, during fall 2023, winter and spring 2024. The reason that you have to enroll for fall, winter, and spring is because this internship is a year internship. So that's why we want you to make sure that you can receive academic credit for it. And then we also want students to be available to participate in supplementary training during spring 2023 and summer training September 14 to 15. For spring, it's up to your availability in terms of when you want to get trained. So you can come into the office or you can do it online. And then for summer training, it's for 2 days. It's from about like 5 or 6 hours of training, but this really helps you prepare for the internship beforehand before the fall quarter starts, so you feel more confident. And then you have to be available to work 7 to 10 hours a week during the 2023 and 2024 academic year. And then you also have to be available to attend weekly team meetings during the scheduled Social Science 194C course time and most SSARC-related events. I know for this year, our team meetings are about 15 minutes long, so it's not super long, but it's a great way to work with your team and gather around and update everyone on what you're planning to do for your team, and also talk about specific events that are coming up. As for internship objectives, I would just gloss over just really quick about what it is. So throughout the course of the SSARC internship program, the students will obtain strong leadership, management, and program planning skills, develop knowledge about career development, graduate school preparation, campus involvement, research and scholarship opportunities. You'll learn more about the university resources and the social sciences. You'll gain some cooperative working skills through training and team development activities. You also receive a lot of guide and support with peers of academic and professional development. You also enhance your public speaking and oral written communication skills. So for this, I think that also is practiced through our events that I'm holding here right now is my public speaking, and also being able to write emails or just talk with students one-on-one. And then as well, you can receive academic credit through the Social Sciences 184 Management Practice course. So as far as the responsibilities, these are the duties that you will perform for this SSARC internship. So you'll be offering assistance and consultation to students in the School of Social Sciences about career development, graduate school preparation, campus enrollment, research, and scholarship opportunities. So these consultations are going to be 30 minutes long. You'll be one-on-one with a student, and it depends on your availability on who you're going to meet with, because these students are scheduling appointments based on your availability. And I personally find it super rewarding to meet one-on-one with students because you're able to understand them more personally, and you also be able to assist them to whatever they come in for. And for this internship, you have to uphold professionalism when interacting with university faculty, staff, administrators, students, and employers. So being able to be professional with the other peer consultants and the director and the program coordinator and some of the employers and faculty staff that may visit our office. And then you'll also be assisting with the daily functions and front desk operations of the center. So this is like pretty easy. For the desk operations, you'll be doing your task on the computer, but you'll also be checking in students who ever come into the office and then checking in students for deployments. And then planning and hosting events to educate and build community among social sciences undergraduate students, faculty, and campus partners. So this is just making sure we're able to host these different events that assist students with graduate school or interviews, resumes, cover letters, or career development. So as for this event here, we're basically informing students about our internship. So that's one of the things that we like to hold for events, for example. And then for marketing and publicizing SSARC programs and services and developing promotional materials. So if you're not registered into the newsletter, we send out a newsletter every Tuesday and Thursday that promotes our events and our services, but also other campus resources and opportunities. As well as for continuing responsibilities, you'll be updating internship and graduate school databases, and you're executing special projects. So this goes along the lines with the team that you're assigned to is you're going to be holding specific events. You'll be able to have freedom of what you can do for that event. So for example, my team and I are creating an event to promote research opportunities on campus. So we're more likely to invite guests, just such as like the Europe advisor or the campus-wide advisor. And then the next one would be participating in training during spring and summer, like I said before. And then you'll be attending all weekly SSARC meetings. And then you'll be maintaining awareness university and social science resources. Also, you'll be adhering to FERPA policies and protecting the confidentiality of private student information. So for the FERPA certification, you will be finishing this right in the beginning when you're starting your internship. It doesn't take too long. You just gotta make sure that when you do take that lesson with the FERPA, you understand that you have to keep student information confidential since you'll be working one-on-one with them. And then you also have to be a really strong advocate for UCI and the School of Social Sciences. And then as far as like responsibilities continue as well, there is no prior experience needed. This is an internship, so this is a chance for you to apply for this internship, to have your skills be grown, increase your knowledge of School of Social Sciences and UCI as well. But also you'll be in a great community of mentors and also peer consultants who are also looking to grow professionally as well. And then you advise students one-on-one. You'll be involved in career development, graduate school preparation, campus involvement, research, scholarship opportunities. You'll also be reviewing resumes and cover letter, and also CVs, so curriculum vitae. Those are longer than resumes, so those are also for graduate school. And you'll be responsible for promoting SSARC, School of Social Sciences, and other UCI resources. So moving on, we're going to discuss teams now. Like I said previously, we'll be separated in graduate school and research team, internship and career, and marketing. So just because like you're in a certain team, it doesn't mean you're definite locked into that team. If you have other interests, such as being into like the internship and career or marketing or graduate school, you can always let the director know if you're interested in being either one of those. I know one of our other peer consultants was in the internship and career team, and she still is, but she expressed that she has an interest in marketing. So she's been doing some of our newsletter as well with our other marketing peer consultant. So just know that even though you are going to be in a team, you'll be also like having that flexibility of trying different things as well. So for the graduate school and research team, we're going to be collaborating with on-campus or off-campus organizations to create specific workshops. For example, we actually recently held a graduate school event last quarter around November, and we posted it on UCI SSARC YouTube. And we actually invited a PhD student who is currently in anthropology program at UCI. And we had a presentation about how to define your interests before you decide on a graduate school program. And even though we also had the presentation, we also had a Q&A with the PhD student. So this allowed students to ask questions about why did they chose the program, what made them be interested in the program that they're in, or like what application materials they have to get. So this is a great way to like express your creativity and also maintain your awareness of School of Social Sciences, but you also learn a lot more about graduate school if you're ever interested in applying. And then we also share fellowships and scholarships with students. I know we also recently held an event about School of Social Sciences scholarships, which is also, I think, posted on our UCI SSARC. If not, we'll post more information about that in our newsletter. And then we also promote career development through internships. So even though we're a graduate school research team, we also are flexible in terms of like the teams. What I said previously is that we look over resumes, we look over cover letters and CVs. We're not just like dialed down into one team. And then we also advise students on finding research opportunities. So for example, Europe or campus-wide collegium, or just finding research assistant positions on campus or off campus. And then finally, we also assist students with the graduate school application process. So this goes along the lines of personal statements, statement of purpose, or your CVs, which is for graduate school, and then your academic transcripts. And then I think also your letter recommendations, we also help you with that in terms of when to ask for a letter recommendation and what you should write and what materials you need. And so for the next team, we have internships, career, and professional development. So for them, they also plan events pertaining to internships and professional development. They submit proposals, host webinar events, collaborate with other campus organizations, and secure panelists for your events. So for example, we had our internship and career team last quarter host an event in collaboration with Division of Career Pathways. And they actually invited one of the career advisors to the event to talk about what resumes and cover letters are. And this was a great way for students to learn more about how to create a resume and how to create a cover letter, but receive advice from a career advisor itself. And then for second, we help students stay organized with their internship and career search. So assisting with resumes, cover letter and curriculum vitae, writing or editing. And we direct students to SSARC resources, like I said, as well as UCI Division of Career Pathways. And I also like to promote an upcoming event that is happening in week 4, which is next week. It's called the SSARCcast Department Spotlight. It's internships and careers in political science. So this is a great way if you're a political science major or if you're interested in political science, this event will be really great to find out more about internships or careers. So further information will be provided. So the last team is marketing. So this is where you're going to be creating flyers and newsletters, like I said before, that comes out every Tuesday and Thursday, and you learn how to master Canva design and a MailChimp. So Canva design is you creating the flyers, and a MailChimp is a whole section of like sending out the newsletter. And then we also promote SSARC events and UCI resources. So you engage with our audience through our social media, such as Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Moving on to the application process. So for the application process, you would need to fill out the online application form, which is this picture of it right here in the Google form. And then you also would like to submit a 1-page resume. And if anything, if you need more help on what you should put on your resume for the application itself, we can also help you out with that as well. You can come in and make an appointment, and we can make sure from a peer consultant viewpoint, we can also guide you as well on how to make sure you can secure an interview and maybe also secure the position as well. So the applications must be submitted by Sunday, March 5th, 2023 at 11:59 p.m. And then the interviews for selected candidates will take place from March 7 to 14. Then final selections and notifications will be emailed by March 22, and then your UCI Gmail login required to access application. So if you were to be selected, I remember my time of being selected, I had to reply to say I want to accept the position. So that's also something to look out for, is that if you do get accepted, you do have to communicate with them that you do want to accept the position or not by a specific deadline. So just be wary of that. And so that brings us to our Q&A time. Do you guys have any questions about the SSARC internship? If there's no other questions, I can also talk about my my personal experience. I would love to talk about that as well, or any questions about the internship itself. Okay, so someone said, what is your favorite part about being a peer consultant? That's a great question because I think I love all, like everything about the internship, just because I love coming to the office and going to work and being able to be surrounded by such a great community of people. I think that's my favorite part, is that in this internship, it doesn't just feel like work. I remember telling this to my director that this doesn't just feel like a simple internship. You walk in and do your work and leave. This is like a greater community, especially in social sciences. You have such like great peers and you're able to connect with them at a certain level. And then you also work together better too. And just being able to know everybody personally and professionally as well is a great community, and also builds you up and increases your skills and your knowledge about everything as well. I also really love the one-on-one consultations because for me, I love giving help to people. I love working with people. So when they do ask questions that I may or may not have the answer to, I just love that feeling of being able to help somebody because I feel like I made an impact in their life. And I always want to do that in my career, in my future career of being an academic counselor. So other than that, it's like also aligned with my career goals. But ultimately, I think I really love just being able to be in a great team. And this feels like an actual home instead of just work. And being around mentors like my director or my program coordinator, who has helped me not only grow as an intern, but also like define my interest for either going to graduate school or just like selecting a specific career. So not only are you growing professionally, but you're also growing personally. Okay, so Pammy said, are you able to manage the internship with school and any other commitments, etc., or example, a second job? So yeah, I have this internship, and for example, in my position, I am also involved with the peer educators in the counseling center on campus. And then I was also involved with work. I had a part-time job last quarter where I was required to work at least 10 hours a week. Along with this internship, that was 7 hours a week. And then along with my peer educator, which was 3 hours a week. And then also along with my research assistant, which was 3 hours a week. So I don't know how many hours that is, but it does sound a lot to me. And last quarter is definitely really like hard. But ultimately, like I was able to balance everything because as long as you have great time management, um, you'll be able to balance like your school. And also like SSARC is extremely flexible too. Like if you wanted to go out for lunch and you just wanted to come in for maybe a little bit later than your shift time because like you want to grab lunch, that's also okay. As long as you meet the 7 hour requirement each week or just by 70 hours by the end of the quarter. So no matter what, like even though like you're required to be here, it's also very flexible. But yeah, it's like really great because I think a lot of times like stuff comes up, especially like if you get sick, or for example, if I got sick, I told my director, I'm sick, I don't think I could come in. I was able to work remotely. So even though like I wasn't in person, I was still able to get my hours by working from home. So that's also a great option as well. But for me, it's like I personally like coming in person to see like faces and see like my students in person. But yeah, like being manageable about your school and your other commitments, I think it's pretty, it could be challenging, obviously, just because with school it's already enough itself, especially being a full-time student. But if you're someone who is looking for like an extracurricular, who is also like wanting to grow like your career skills and also like your professional development and knowing more about graduate school or like research opportunities and like wanting to know more about that stuff, then this is a great internship for you to apply for. Of course. Valentina said, do you know if the SSARC internship is going to be a hybrid work format for the next school year? So I don't want to give like a definite answer on that just because things could change, obviously, with COVID and like with other stuff that could be going on. I know that when I asked that during my interview, I wasn't given a definite answer, but I was also okay with it just because either way, it's very flexible in this type of work. You can also work online or in person. So you can let the director know your availability, and you could say, I prefer to work remote this one day, but I can also come in person this other day. And then they're usually really flexible at understanding what your schedule is, as long as you're really communicative about it. And I think that's one of the most important things, is that with your schedule, it's also important to like let your director know or your program coordinator know, like, hey, like I have this thing going on like this day every single week and I can't come in person, like can I come in remotely? So I think that's one of the most important things. But I would say for me, it's more in person this quarter and last quarter. But I know some of the elder peer consultants, they work remotely and they also work in person as well. So it's a hybrid environment a little bit, but it's never like one of the other, if that makes sense. And then I can still take a few more questions to, what has been the most challenging part of this internship? Oh, that's a good question. I think, um, even though it's challenging, I think it's also rewarding. Challenging could mean just putting a time and effort into these events that you have to hold. So every quarter, you are required to at least hold one special event that is of your liking. So what I mean by this is that you'll be working alongside your teams and you have to all decide what event you want to hold for SSARC, but also School of Social Sciences or UCI in general. And this could be along the lines of anything between your team. So for my team, for graduate school and research, we had to decide what we want to talk about. For graduate school or research, we had to choose either one. And then most of the time we choose graduate school because like we know a lot about it. But like just being able to like kind of sit down and like just think, what do I want to hold that is not like a repeat of last year as well? Or what do I think would satisfy or assist students like gaps in knowledge, right, whatsoever? Like you can also learn from your consultation as well, from like common information that you hear from students where they say, I'm struggling with graduate school, I'm struggling while thinking about a gap year, I'm also like struggling about finding research opportunities. You kind of learn the takeaways from those consultations and you think, maybe I should hold an event for these students because I'm hearing it so much, I might as well make it a whole event. So that's one of the things, is that it could be a little bit challenging just because you have to time manage everything. You have to, if you want to invite panelists, you have to email them ahead of time and also make sure they reply ahead of time. And if they don't want to come, you have to think about other people you want to invite. And then making the presentation itself could be a little bit time consuming too, making sure that everyone has the same schedule to present. So that's not extremely like challenging, but it's like one of the things I can think about on top of my head. But I think the payoff of making those events is extremely rewarding because you just know how much time you put into that presentation, but also like, you know, that students will benefit from it. Do you have any application or interview advice for those considering and applying? Yeah, so I remember when I applied, I just was myself. I talked about my previous experiences because it was my first year here. I was a transfer student, so it was my first year here at UCI. So I talked about my experiences in my community college and also my work experiences I have had in the past. And although I never have worked in like an educational setting, I think one of the biggest things is expressing that even though you may not have relatable experience, you can transfer those same skills you developed in those positions into this internship and say that you're willing to like strengthen them and also like be flexible in learning more. So I think one of the biggest things in my interview that I expressed was that I was passionate about what I do and I am extremely eager to learn more. And I want to assist students because this is my career path, this is my career goal. And even though it might not be your career goal, you can also express that you just want to give back to the UCI community. I think that's one of the biggest things is that you as a student here, you're already like a great resource. And so expressing that you're going to be another resource at an office and work there for a whole year, like that's going to be already beneficial. And also like being authentic, genuine, honest about everything. Because I think that's one of the biggest things is that employers always want to make sure that whoever they interview are going to be authentic, and also determined, motivated. So also like make sure that you're expressing your skills and also like your knowledge and your passion, your interests, because ultimately, like we just want to know who you are as a person and see like how we can see you grow in this position. Okay, I would take a few last questions, and then as we're moving towards the end of the presentation, we'll also like to discuss where you can apply and also some of the resources we have here at SSARC. But if there's any final questions, I will wait just a few minutes or a few seconds for that. Okay, so it looks like there's no more questions, so I'm going to move on from the Q&A. And if anybody has any other further questions, feel free to email us and contact us about the internship. So, of course, you can apply today at this website, https://lyssarcptfapp. And then also in the chat, I noticed that my director just put down the link. So feel free to save that link into your computer right now so you don't forget it. And if you lose access to that, you can visit our website at sarcsocialuci.edu, and it should be under the internship category for SSARC internship. So that should be there as well. And just a reminder is the deadline to submit is March 5th, 2023 at 11:59. So I'd like to thank you everyone for coming to the presentation and learning more about the SSARC internship. Here are some of our socials: Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and our website. Feel free to check out our other resources, and we'll be sending out a follow-up email for this presentation. I'll be uploading a recording to the YouTube, and thank you so much for coming.